Every single day, the world eats nearly 9 million pounds of French fries. That's more than the weight of the Eiffel Tower, made entirely of potatoes. And what's wild? Most of those golden fries start their journey in a factory that looks nothing like a kitchen and runs faster than your microwave timer. So, how does a potato from a muddy field turn into the crispy golden legend sitting next to your burger? Let's find out. If you are visiting our channel for the first time, please make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more such videos. Back to the topic. Before we chase that potato through the maze, a quick detour. French fries are a bit of a naming scuffle. Belgium swears it owned the idea first. Villagers frying fish when rivers froze, swapping fish for sliced potatoes. France counters with its own street vendor tradition along the bridges of Paris. America meets fries in upscale form when Thomas Jefferson serves potatoes in the French manner in the early 1800s. Then later, the fast food era sends them global. Back to that potato. It doesn't just show up. Months earlier, contract growers planted varieties bred for fries, often long, oblong potatoes with starch levels that hold a straight line and crisp edge. Soil is mounded high to keep them covered and straight. Through the growing season, farmers manage irrigation and watch sugars. Too cold, and the potato hoards sugars, which later darken in hot oil. Too hot, and texture can suffer. At harvest, a web of trucks and windrowers lifts rows of potatoes and lays them into hoppers with soft belts that try very hard not to bruise a thing. They cure in storage, cool and humid, so skins toughen and sugars settle. That storage buys the factory a steady, predictable supply. Cut to the receiving dock. Truck doors swing open. A waterfall of potatoes spills onto a receiving table. First stop is sampling. A core is taken, potatoes are weighed and cooked, and the lab runs quick checks. Size distribution, defects like hollow heart or green shoulders, dry matter to predict crispness, even a tiny test fry to gauge color. Every lot earns a grade, and with it, the order it will run. The first machine greets them with water, big volumes. Potatoes roll into a washer where spray bars knock off field soil and flotation tanks pull off stones and stray clods. Stones sink, potatoes float. Anything the same density as a potato gets another trick, like a bar roller that spreads the load and lets round things wobble across while flat debris stalls. The goal here is simple: feed the next machine a clean, predictable flow. That next machine is the steam peeler. Imagine a short steel drum that seals for a moment, blasts the potatoes with high pressure steam, then snaps open and vents. The sudden pressure drop loosens the skin so rubber lined paddles can kiss it away in seconds. It is fast and surprisingly gentle. The factory likes steam peeling because it wastes less flesh than abrasive peeling and keeps edges intact for clean cuts later. Skins gone, the line gets pickier. Trimmers and cameras team up. On some lines, workers pluck obvious oddballs. On others, optical sorters lined with bright lights and high speed cameras scan every side as the potatoes hop past. If a defect shows, a precise air puff nudges that piece into a side chute for rework. We are not actually racing, we are removing surprises. Now, the cut. A long channel of water, pressurized and smooth, accelerates each potato so it shoots nose first through a blade grid. That grid can be 7 millimeters for shoestrings, 10 millimeters for a classic fry, thicker for steak cut, or wavy for crinkles. Water cutting is fast and keeps the strips aligned. Knives are razor sharp and set in a cartridge that maintenance swaps and sharpens constantly. The machine makes a sound when a fresh edge is in. It is cleaner. You feel it in the room. Fresh strips pour out like golden paper. They are raw, pale, flexible, and now, oddly enough, a little too wet and a little too sugary. That is why blanching arrives right away. The fries ride through hot water for a few minutes. Blanching rinses off surface sugars and sets pectin in the cell walls, which translates to a fry that stays straight and cooks evenly later. If the incoming potatoes are running sweet because of storage temperature, the plant can tweak the blanch to bring color back in line. Some lines also dose a tiny bit of a color control dip to keep the golden hue steady from bag to bag. We want golden, not brown, not pale, and definitely not gray. Dripping and steamy, fries cross a shaker table that spreads them into a single layer. Think of a gentle rattling sieve that hands each fry to moving air. Warm air drying removes just enough surface water so hot oil will crisp instead of spitting. Timing matters. Too much drying and you risk a tough crust. Too little and the par fryer wastes energy fighting steam. Now for the first oil bath, the par fry. Temperature sits in the ballpark of 170 to 180 degrees Celsius. Time is short, under a minute for classic cuts. This stage locks in shape, builds a fragile shell, and cooks the outer layer just enough that freezing later won't ruin the texture. Oil management here is its own science. Filtration systems pull out crumbs, skimmers clear the top, and makeup oil flows keep free fatty acids in check. The oil is monitored because bad oil equals off flavors later. You can smell when a plant is doing it right. The air stays clean, not rancid. As the fries rise from the fryer, a de-oiler shakes off excess. They pass another sorter that looks for clumps, stubs, and odd slivers. Those go to a separate stream. Out of the tunnel, the line gets meticulous again. A check weigher measures each bag with a scale sensitive enough to catch a single extra fry. A metal detector scans for anything it should never find. Bags fill, seal, and get date codes and lot codes. Those codes are the plant's memory. With one string of digits, the plant can tell you which field grew the potatoes, which fryer cooked the par fry, which shift packed the bag, and which pallet is rolling to which freezer. Palletizers stack cases with robotic arms, wrap them tight, and they roll into a frozen warehouse that moves like a city at night, lift trucks humming between aisles of cold air and white mist. Sustainability matters here too. Steam peelers use less potato than abrasive belts, which means more edible yield from the same truckload. Water loops are closed and filtered. The starch washed off during blanching does not go to waste. It is recovered and can head to animal feed or an industrial use. Spent frying oil moves on as well, often to biodiesel or other downstream uses, and oil life is extended with better filtration. Quality techs keep a quiet stack of binders and a tidy wall of charts that tell you exactly what happened on second shift last Wednesday. The best factories feel like teams that all learn to move in the same rhythm. If If you taste one and wonder why it is crisp at the edge but still fluffy inside, that is the physics you just watched. Steam peeling kept the outside smooth enough for a clean cut. Blanching set that outer layer. Surface drying prevented a hard crust. Par frying created the shell. That is the right kind of crunch, and reaching back for one more. Fries did not get famous by accident. They got famous because they are simple and because a lot of careful steps make that simple thing taste the same every time. That is the real trick inside a factory. Make a million, make them match, and make them good. Now that you know how, you may never look at that golden stack quite the same way again.